Hi, with me today I have Jerry Essex. He just came in from Jenison, so he was close enough to come to the office and pick up his officiant ordination package. So today I am excited for him to share a little bit about himself with you guys.
It's great to be here. I've been excited to be part of the program. I'm excited to have come this far, and I've been involved for several years in northern Michigan, especially with Native American ministries, and it's been a real blessing. I've been helping out as a layperson. I've been tried to be a support person in ministry most of my life. I grew up in Traverse City, and was part of the church there when I was young. Started singing there when I was young, and was involved with Native American. Began my involvement with Native American ministries there. Pretty informal, but just delightful times. And then over the last 5 years or so, I've been working in Charlevoix and Northport, Elk Rapids, and my brother George Pemptepee, he's a Potawatomi native, is pastoring the church there in Elk Rapids, and he's going to be coming down this week to help me celebrate my ordination, along with another brother who pastors a minority church in Grand Rapids, Philip Wilson. And the two of them have been just great ministry partners, and I've just loved serving the native ministries, and I don't know where the Lord is leading all of this, but it's like I had an opportunity for this ordination, and I've been praying, okay, Lord, this is the first step. Obviously, I'm not a young student. I've been around a while, but it's wonderful to be learning more. I really appreciate the teachers, the leadership of CLI, and the mission of CLI to provide training for anybody who can be a minister. We're all ministers. If we're a part of the body of Christ, we're all ministers and have an opportunity to help other people. So I'm looking forward to where the Lord is leading in all of this, and to become one of the revival leaders that your dad talks about, and just see how the Lord might bless your ministry and mine as we move forward.
That's awesome. So when did you feel the calling to be in Native American ministry? Like, did you meet the brother you're talking about, or?
Well, I one of my best friends in Traverse City is Kimo Meccas. And
okay.
He and I have been like brothers from the time we were very young. We used to sing together and travel together, and I used to go over to his folks' house, and they would help me learn a little bit of the language, and we'd have a big laugh when I could say something properly. But in recent years, with my involvement in Charlevoix and Elk Rapids in particular, I've just felt more and more of a drawing to be supportive in the area of Native ministries, to be supportive of the people. I just love the people, and so that's what I'm drawn to.
Do you have any very experiences when you were there ministering at the camps where you were just really blown away by either an individual or I guess an experience?
I think over the last 6 months, I've seen George in his ministry in Elk Rapids just flourish. And when he first started there this year, there were about 10 or 12 people attending the church in Elk Rapids, very small church. He now has about 40 people attending, and the numbers tell us something. But really, what's behind that is the Spirit. What is God doing? How is God leading us to minister to people in a way that draws them to Him? And then, one of my visions is to help build other leaders in that community, because there are very few leaders in that community. And the training that I'm getting at CLI and the philosophy of CLI supports that, building other leaders that can be part of ministry and building up the body.
Awesome. how did you come in contact with CLI? Did someone you knew know about it, or did you just search it, or?
I didn't have a clue. I was looking for resources for studying. Actually, somebody asked me to consider this a while back, and I thought, well, maybe this is something I could do, but I didn't know where to go. I'm retired. I wasn't really interested in going back to brick and mortar seminary. I mean, great schools around the area. But then my daughter came to me and said, Dad, I'm getting married. Would you marry us?
Oh, how exciting.
And I said, well, I'm not qualified. So I started searching, like you said, and I found, there's all kinds of scammy things out there that you can get into, to pay a few bucks and get a certificate and you're ordained. Well, that's not legitimate.
Right.
And I actually said, to her, Charisse, you probably should go, talk to your minister at church and see what you might be able to work out with them. But she and John really want me to do the ceremony. So I was really surprised but challenged by that. So I started looking, and I found CLI kind of through the back door online. I was actually searching scams, and because I just didn't know what was out there. And then somehow I came across a website that's answering all the questions I had, and that was CLI. CLI saying, here's what's out there, here's what's wrong with that, here's why it doesn't really, it's like half-truths and misleading statements, and here's what we do. And I thought, wow, this is what you do? So the more I explored that, I decided to see, okay, who is this? So I looked at your website, found some of the instructors, looked at who was on the board, and I thought, this is a solid organization, and it doesn't cost much money to go to school here. So, it was just one of those things that I explored, and the Lord I really feel the Lord led me to CLI, and it's close to where I live too. So it's been so encouraging for me. It's so exciting for me, to be able to be here and participate, and that's how I learned about CLI.
That is awesome. So this is more personal, but when is the wedding? You got it on time, obviously.
It's coming up this month.
Oh wow! Okay.
So we're all excited about that. I have the officiant ordination now, and this is really I'm really impressed with everything that we do. It's such high quality. The education itself is high quality. The speakers are excellent. The teachers are excellent. And on one hand, we could look at a document like this and say, "Well, yeah, that's really nice." But think about it. Right. What we've been able to achieve together. This represents a whole lot more than a piece of paper. It represents a dedication to service, a dedication to building ministry, a dedication to quality in doing things the right way, and a dedication to building one another up. So I'm really excited about getting ready for the wedding that's coming up this month.
Dang. That is awesome. That's exciting. You'll have to tell your daughter congratulations. So another thing is, you were saying, so you've sang for a long time. So have you been a Christian then most of your life? You didn't have necessarily.
Yeah, I was. My family was part of the church from the or as early as I can remember. I remember making my personal commitment to the Lord when I was 10 years old.
Okay. I
was baptized when I was 16. At Indian Lake, of course.
Oh, good.
Indian Lake is down by south of Kalamazoo. And during those years of growing up in the church is when I was singing and participating in ministry, and then went on from there in undergraduate school and did some more. Okay,
awesome. So I guess what's one thing that you would love to share with everyone else in just, your experience, your faith, or whatever you feel?
Well, the grace of the Lord is so amazing. Selah sings a song. I'm blocking out the words right at the moment, but it's how wonderful and how sufficient the grace of God is to meet our every need. And for me, I've been through a lot of experiences in life, like everybody is.
Right.
And God is always faithful. Sometimes we don't always hear Him clearly, but He is always faithful. the Romans 8 project that you just finished is evidence of that too, how the promises are there, and no matter what our life circumstances are, He is faithful, and He's been faithful to me.
That is awesome. What is one of the more challenging things that you feel you have faced in your life and with the grace of God overcame?
Well, I didn't know who my father was
Okay.
for a long time, for most of my life. And, and sometimes that can be a real stumbling block for people, because we have an empty spot, and sometimes there's emotional baggage that comes with that, and it can be a real challenge for a lot of people in their faith. Like we say, why? Why,
Right.
God? Why is this the situation? But God has a purpose in everything. And I did discover my birth father about 15 years ago. And it was such a relief, number one, but it was also such an answer to prayer.
Okay.
And it wasn't that there was, I wasn't having any big serious problems in life, but I'd been, asking God for a long time, what's the answer here,
Right.
because, we all have that need inside to know who our family is, to know who our parents are, to know what the love base is, and our Heavenly Father can fill that, and He has in my life, but it was such an answer to prayer to find out who my father was and be able to celebrate that.
Okay, and did you guys build a good relationship once you knew him, or was it more like, now I've met you, I'm glad I know it?
It was a little different because he had passed away in 1965.
Okay.
So it wasn't an immediate physical connection that I had with him, but it was more of an emotional and connecting kind of happening that happened for me. Now, I didn't know him when I was younger. I just didn't know he was my father, and it was a delight to me to learn about him, because he was always an important part of my life, and he was always very loving and giving. And it's a long story. We don't have time for it today, but it really was an answer to a need that I had in my life spiritually. And we have human needs, and God understands that. We have spiritual needs, and He's there to fill those.
All right. Well, you know what? Thank you so much, Jerry. This has been wonderful. It's so exciting that you just got his officiant ordination, and I'm sure we will see more of you with CLI. Just thank you again for coming in. I hope you all enjoyed hearing a little bit from Jerry.